Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet. Lakers driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, the Hall of Famer's Big Game James Worthy. My 7-time champ over here is Robert Horry. Allie Clifton's going to join us in a little bit. We'll hear from Mike Trudell. That locker room should be a good one tonight. As Stu said, a lot to be talked about. Lakers win down 15 after 3. It looked like it was going to be rock bottom for this team, guys, but they rallied big time in the fourth with no LeBron James. He gets ejected. We'll get into that a little later. Lakers shoot 67% in the fourth. They outscore Detroit in the fourth, 37-17, and Russ and AD combined for 27 in the final frame.
Yeah, the type of game they needed. A little adversity, on the road. Hadn't won a game yet. They go into Detroit, a team that hadn't been playing that well, that plays well when the Lakers come to town. LeBron gets kicked out. Now what do? You pull together as a team, persevere, and that's what they did. I thought Westbrook in particular really showed, his expertise in taking over a game. 10 assists with only 3 turnovers. I thought Tucker was important in the fact that LeBron was out, but the big defense by AD, 5 blocks. That's just kind of the game they needed to come together as a team, figuring out something in the midst of a lot of losing and not sure what they needed to do. I think they pulled together tonight and learned a lot from this game.
Rob, hold your thought. Let's go back to Detroit. Russell Westbrook is with Mike Trudell.
All right, Russ, down 15 going into the fourth quarter. You were really aggressive getting the team back into it. What's the mindset there in a situation like that?
Just be aggressive, man. Part of my job and part of what I've been able to do for so many years is be aggressive, use my ability to be able to help my teammates out. And tonight, it must win for us. Brian going out, and we got to find ways to win games, especially on the road. And tonight was a hell of a win for all of us. All Laker Nation, we needed this one tonight, and, we got it.
You mentioned LeBron goes out of the game. Of course, there's the situation with Stewart at midcourt. Russ, how did you guys get your composure? What did you see on that, and how did you come out after that?
It's like adversity. When adversity hits you, you figure out what you're going to do. You fold or you come together. In that timeout, we came together. They still made a run, but we stuck together, stick to our principles, and came out with the win.
A lot of stuff with you and AD in the fourth quarter on both sides of the court. What is that like for you? What are you seeing from Anthony Davis as you grow together?
Just growth. Me and him talked about it many times. And it's us two, our offense, Brian. We figured out what worked for us in the fourth quarter, and we stick to it. We did that tonight. Got a shot every time down. Got any shot we wanted, and it was successful for it.
Last thing for you. You mentioned that you needed this win. How do you guys build off of it, Russ?
We got no choice now. Just go out and keep competing. We know what it takes. We know what we have to do from start of the game to finish. We can't have lapses. Teams is coming at us every night. They're giving us their best shot, and we know we got to come out and compete at a high level, and we did that tonight. So
appreciate it, Russ.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, good job, Mike. I do want to get your opening thoughts, Rob, just on that come from behind victory and the team kind of rallying behind an ejected.
Yeah, when LeBron went out and then Detroit went on that run, I was like, okay, this might be a wrap. We're going to have some cheers tonight and talk about some good stuff and some bad stuff. But what I want to talk about really is what Carmelo was able to do. Carmelo had his woes from shooting 3-ball on the road. 5 for 8 tonight. Yeah. Shot it very well. Kept him in the game. Gave him a little spark. It's amazing how you get guys like that to start knocking down threes. It sparks the team. Back in the day, it used to be dunks, but his threes sparks the team. Next time they get a run. AD played very aggressive. Of course, Westbrook did. The attacks to the basket. It was great team basketball.
You want your stars to rise to the occasion when a team is struggling, and it was a struggle. I mentioned when they're down 15, you're thinking this is rock bottom for this team. They're going to go to 8-10. 8-10, they're going to be on a 4-game losing streak. LeBron gets ejected. This show was going to be a lot different, right? But Russ, AD, Carmelo, they all stepped up. I do want to start with Russell Westbrook, who had a huge fourth quarter, scoring 15 points in the fourth, and he was outstanding. Russell finishes with 10 of 21 with 26 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds.
Yeah, I said it takes him a while to get going. He's not a fast start at the beginning of the season, but you can see he's starting to pick up his game. I mean, he's always been able to get his numbers, but very impactful numbers tonight when they needed him. In the fourth quarter, he was in attack mode, stepping back, shooting from the perimeter, making assists, only 3 turnovers, Geeter, and really had a big part to do with the game. Not a great three-point shooter, but not afraid to take it, and definitely not afraid to take it to the bucket when they needed them in the fourth. But you take a look at the Brody balling.
I think for me, if you look at his stats, the 3 turnovers, and that one last turnover was kind of silly. So he should have only had 2 turnovers in the game. And for me, that's what I always look at Westbrook. I don't care what he does anywhere else on the court because we know what he's going to do with the points, the rebounds, assists. I always look at the first thing I want to look at is his turnover because when he keeps his turnovers at 3 under, they usually win.
I think the hope coming into this season was if LeBron James was injured, then it happened. That Russ and AD can get you, and the others, of course, can get you through games like this. But there were struggles, the OKC losses, Minnesota, those kind of games that kind of lingered and just put a different kind of vibe on this team, James, through 17 games. We talked a lot about it, and then you come on the road and you lose the first 2. But that's what you want to see from Russ. That's why he's here, and it was nice to see it tonight.
And at the beginning of the season when we developed this roster, everybody was excited. You know, we're going to be pretty good. Didn't have the start that we needed. The ugly games that we were losing, Oklahoma, we were losing some games. It was just ugly. But you look at the good part of those games, the glimpses of the first quarter when they had a 14-point lead. Maybe they showed splashes. Now we're starting to see all of that was ugly, but all that ugliness is now starting to churn up into something nice. So Westbrook on the road, LeBron out, taking dominance of the game, going to the rack, assisting, good defense too. That's what you want, and that's what people expected when we got Westbrook here. But all that ugliness that we've seen, it's cooking into something decent. It was kind of decent tonight. It's been ugly, but it's starting to look a little bit better. So hopefully they can keep it going.
We talked a lot about in the pregame show the bad third quarters. We said these are the 2 worst third quarter teams in the league. A minus 92-point differential for the Lakers, minus 93 from Detroit. Detroit wins that third 31-23. And Rob, things are looking bad. But I want to show you what happened in the fourth quarter because these numbers win you games. And this is what happened. 37-17. The Pistons just 3 of 18, while the Lakers shoot 67%, and they go 3 for 7 from 3. And by the way, 5 blocks in that final period as well.
Yeah, the Pistons were hot the first 3 quarters from 3, and I think the Lakers say, hey, this is the fourth quarter, we got to bear down. And they went 1 for 6. They played very good D. I think Cunningham kind of showed he was a rookie. They shut him down. And Jeremy Grant, who was dynamic the whole game, they tried to key in him. They locked him down. I think when the Lakers switch defensively, it kind of gets everybody antennas to go out. So they say, okay, we got to play a little better defense because there's going to be some mismatches around it. But the defense in the fourth quarter was awesome. And this is what we want the Lakers to do all the time, not just the fourth quarter, every quarter, because, they're a defensive-minded team from Vogel and AD getting back to that mindset where he wants to be the defensive player of the year because he can be that. He can be the MVP. He just has to be aggressive from the jump ball.
Yeah, there's not too many minutes in the NBA for zones either. I mean, Detroit just picked that zone apart. I was glad they went back to man-to-man, man up. Play some good, hard defense. Rob was right. They switched when they needed to, and that's what got the defense, rolling. And they were active. They started communicating, and then AD with the big blocks kind of led them into that victory in the fourth.
Got good news on a Sunday night for you. AD speaking to Mike in the media out in Detroit.
AD, just first of all, I wanted to know what your vantage point was for everything that was going on at midcourt, and then how you guys were able to get